Amazon announced today that they are pulling out of New York City. Amazon, this is according now from the New York Times. Amazon said on Thursday that it was canceling plans to build. Hell yeah, dude. I don't even remember, though. What was the hotline bling dance?
Scalia died.
Oh, no, I know. This is the one where he does this, right? Oh, okay. Okay. Amazon is canceled. Fuck you. Goodbye. Peace. You're not going to make our subway system even worse than it already is. Long Island City is saved. Fuck you.
Sorry to all you that have already bought
I'm
property.
sorry. Oh, that's a shame.
I wonder if there's a return policy on that.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we could use your base tip to pay off the condo that you bought.
Not so prime real estate now, is it?
Woo! Woo! Organizing works, people. Organizing works. It was an incredible testament, though, to the passing of the baton to, like, real progressive forces. Like, Bill de Blasio has done some really good things. He's done some really bad things. I totally, in the elections where he was up, I'm glad I voted for him. But him going up there talking about the synergy between Amazon and a housing project, I mean, some of the most disturbing, ridiculous, dystopian nonsense from any public official in our country. And, of course, we all know what Andrew Cuomo is. So this is a great victory for New York. It's a great victory for labor organizing. And I hope other cities will take a page out of this. Like, no. I mean, Amazon is we'll get to that in a second. Amazon is a structural danger to the well-being of the country, labor forces, supply chains. I actually love a point that Corey Pine made, which was like, you need to have more friction than what Amazon provides. You need to be willing to wait an extra day. The human cost of frictionless delivery like that is innately abusive to people. And Amazon, I mean, that's the bigger point. The sort of also very significant point, obviously, is the notion of giving this not only hugely profitable, but like, potentially the most structurally dangerous monopoly of our time, additional money to bribe them to come here to drive up rents and make this city even more gentrified and clog up our public transportation, because, of course, there's no money that's going to get pumped into subways. We're going to use that for a helipad. Is just, I mean, well, it was let me not be as polemical. It was extraordinarily short-sighted policymaking, which takes us to this tweet, because Bakari Sellers, and I just want to get this. I don't really know who Bakari Sellers is, frankly. I know that he's a pundit and a former politician, and I know that he supports Hillary Clinton, and he seems to get into a lot of beef with Bernie people on Twitter, and I don't ride on that stuff that much. I mean, it's obviously where I stand, but I don't really see a need to sort of fight with people about these things every 5 seconds. But and when I've seen him on TV, he seems like a nice guy, and certainly when he's paired up against a Republican, he's good. That being said, just a relentless, a supporter of the anything Israel wants, anytime, anywhere, any place variety, which is always why it's a decent idea to see him with his picture of Shmuley Boteach. And just, again, to be clear, like, Elie Wiesel, unfortunately, towards the end of his life, said some really despicable things in defense of Israeli atrocities in Gaza. Elie Wiesel is also a Holocaust survivor personally, and he wrote some really good books. And, he still was an important figure in our national discourse, one that should and needed to be critiqued. But, like, just as a contrast, I mean, Shmuley Boteach, I mean, he's a right-wing nothing. I don't even understand how he gets into all of these pictures with Bakari Sellers and Steve Bannon. I know that he was he literally was Michael Jackson's rabbi. That is why he is in national consciousness. So Bakari Sellers, I mean, obviously that part of his record is bad. And now we look at this, which is this totally lame-ass tweet. And I'm wondering if he's looking for some type of consulting or lobbying contract here, because Bakari Sellers tweets out at 11:58 a.m. today, opposing Amazon and NYC was very short-sighted. And what's extraordinary, though, is that it's just the absolute inverse of true. Because, I had no beef, honestly, with labor unions that were like, hey, this is going to happen. Let's get some good building trades jobs. The truth is, for working people, obviously things are incredibly tight. And that's an understandable perspective. But one that I would say, and I am in no right to say what their decision should be in that sense as a non-union person, but I could tell you as an objective political analyst, that's a short-sighted move. Because if Amazon comes into the city, it's going to have a huge structural undermining effect of what remnants remain of the middle and working class in this city, and it's an anti-union company. And there's no doubt that that is going to have a spillover effect with the oligarchy of New York City, a corporate right-wing Democratic governor. So Bakari Sellers with the opposite day tweet of the week.
This is just billionaires being babies again.
That's all
this
it
is
is.
Howard Schultz being pissed because Seattle won't build a new arena for the Sonics. So he moves them. And this is Bezos being like, well, we wanted to help the community so much, but
Yeah.
only if you give us all
Sure.
this shit and give me a helipad and then subsidize our $100K plus salaries for people to move here.
Yeah, Sellers is a pro-business Democrat. He was on a panel with Sam at a Politicon, and he was definitely right of everyone on there. But I think the problem is him coming from like a rural South Carolina background. It's like, yeah, no businesses want to go there. We have to do everything we can to incentivize them to go here.
Right.
But we're talking about New York City and giving away $3 billion in tax credits to build this thing. Like, it's completely unnecessary.
That's actually a really good point. I'm sure that frames his perspective, and that's fair.
That's a big American divide too. Like,
Right.
I mean, there was a viral review of Olive Garden that came out in Grand Forks, North Dakota, when I was in college, because this woman's like, "We got an Olive Garden to finally come here," and that is I remember getting excited about like certain sporting goods stores. Like,
No, dude, even growing up in rural Massachusetts, I mean, and it was different, but because there was big fluctuations within a pretty small geographic area. So there was definitely like middle class college town types of people that can support a bunch of nice like coffee shops and independent bookstores, and they don't want big box stores. But then there also was, you drove 40 minutes out. I mean, there was some like legit rural poverty. And of course people wanted a Walmart built. But I think, that's a very astute point with Bakari. But it's also like what I love about this too, and the tantrum that Amazon's throwing. I mean, first of all, obviously we're dodging a bullet here, but it's also like what's awesome is that they've gotten such pushback that they need to take their ball and go home and have this little hissy fit. When, of course, as we pointed out in the beginning, this whole thing of like all these cities across America are going to compete for us. I mean, this horrifying like feudalistic Hunger Games thing was also extraordinarily bullshit because, they picked DC metro area and New York, places they clearly want to be. So in other words, what's very funny about this actually is that if Amazon wasn't short-sighted, and if Amazon wasn't so goddamn relentlessly greedy, they could have just said, we're opening in New York City and we're not going to try to like steal $3 billion and throw away your tax money for it. Like, we're going to come here. We're going to cause more gentrification. We're going to clog the public transit system. We're going to be obviously horrible corporate citizens and make New York suck even more. But we don't have to do the cherry on top of taking $3 billion out of the state budget that could be spent on like anything else of better use. Because they did that, they got this great pushback, and now they have to whine and go like, "Oh, I guess you don't want us." What's hilarious is that they clearly wanted to be here, so it makes it all the more hotline bling.
Another great thing is, and very pedantic as well, but Cuomo is still Amazon Cuomo.
Still
despite
Amazon.
The deal falling through.
Still Amazon Cuomo, and it's a tough deal.